who give the class on the appearance of Madhavendra Puri in Chowpatty, Bombay on May 4th, 1995. Today is a very auspicious for many reasons. One reason is that today is Chandan Yatra. It is also Sri Madhavendra Puri's appearance day. So Madhavendra's Puri pure devotional service and how he brought Chandan for the deity of Gopal and ultimately offered it to the deity of Gopinath, who is non-different from Gopal. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. So from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 4, Sri Madhavendra Puri's devotional service. In his Amrit Pravaha Bhasya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives the following summary of the 4th chapter as follows. One night, while in Govardhan, Madhavendra Puri dreamed that the Gopal deity was within the forest. And the next morning, he invited his neighborhood friends to accompany him to extract the deity from the jungle. And then he established the deity of Sri Gopalji on the top of the Govardhan hill with great pomp. And that deity is now in Nathdwar. So Gopal was worshipped and the Ankut festival was observed, and this festival known everywhere. And many people from the neighboring village came to join. One night, the Gopal deity again appeared to Madhavendra Puri in a dream and asked him to go to Jagannath Puri to collect some sandalwood pulp and smear it on the body of the deity. Having received the order, Madhavendra Puri immediately started for Orissa. Traveling through Bengal, he reached Ramuna village and there received a pot of condensed milk, kshir, offered to the deity of Gopinathji. This pot of condensed milk was stolen by Gopinath and delivered to Madhavendra Puri. Since then, the Gopinath deity has been known as Sir Chor Gopinath, the deity who stole the pot of condensed milk. After reaching Jagannath Puri, Madhavendra Puri received permission from the king to take 1 mon of sandalwood. That's, I think, I remember 1 mon is about 40 pounds. That was the measurement, if my memory is correct. Aided by 2 men, he brought these things to Ramuna. Again, he saw in a dream that Gopal at Govardhan Hill desired that very sandalwood to be turned into pulp mix with camphor and smeared over the body of Gopinathji. So understanding that that would satisfy the Gopal deity at the Govardhan, Madhavendra Puri executed the order and then returned to Jagannath Puri. Text 1. Yasmai detum choriyan kshira bandham Gopinath kshira chora bibdo bhut Shri Gopalaha padurasit vasahasan yat premanatam madhyamandram natosmi. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Madhavendra Puri. He was given a pot of sweet rice stolen by Sri Gopinath. celebrated thereafter as Kshirchor. Being pleased by Madhavendra Puri's love, Sri Gopal, the deity of the Govardhan, appeared to the public vision. Prabhupada writes that Bhakti Vinod Thakur annotates that this Gopal deity was originally installed by Vajra, the great grandson of Krishna. Madhavendra Puri rediscovered Gopal and established him on the top of the Govardhan hill. And this Gopal deity is still situated at the Nathudwar and is under the management of the descendant of the Vallabhacharya. The worship of the deity is very luxurious, and one who goes there can purchase varieties of prasadam by paying a small price. I remember that one sweet like a brick block. That's wonderful. I forgot the name of the sweet, but it's come like a brick and it's so nice. Text number 2. Jaya Jaya Gaura Chandra Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Nityanand Prabhu. All glories to Advaita Prabhu. And all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. So we will skip the Ramuna pastime where Madhavendra Puri received the pot of the condensed milk stolen by the deity Gopinath. Madhavendra Puri was afraid that when news of the event spread, everyone would want to see him and appreciate him. So he thought that he should not remain there any longer, but should leave immediately for Jagannath Puri. This is the greatness of the devotees. They don't want to get any kind of praise. Chali Chali Aila Puri Shri Nilachal Jagannatha Dekhi Haila Premete Vival. Walking and walking, Madhavendra Puri finally reached Jagannath Puri, which is also known as Nilachal. There he saw Lord Jagannath and was overwhelmed with loving ecstasy. When Madhavendra Puri was overwhelmed in the ecstasy of love of Godhead, he sometimes stood up and sometimes fell to the ground. Sometimes he laughed, danced and sang. In this way, he enjoyed transcendental bliss by seeing the Jagannath deity. When Madhavendra Puri came to Jagannath Puri, people were aware of his transcendental reputation. Therefore, crowds of people came and offered him all sorts of respect and devotion. So even though one may not like it, reputation as ordained by providence come to him. Indeed, one's transcendental reputation is known throughout the entire world. And we will skip to text 147. Pratisthara Bhayapuri Gela Palana Krishna Preme Pratishtha Chale Sange Gadana. Being afraid of his reputation, Pratishtha, Madhavendra Puri fled from the Ramuna. But the reputation brought by love of Godhead is so sublime that goes along with the devotee as if following him. Being afraid of his reputation, Madhavendra Puri fled from Ramuna. But the reputation brought by love of Godhead is so sublime that it goes along with the devotee as if following him. Actually, Chanakya Pandit makes this same statement, which Srila Prabhupada sometime quoted. A rich man is famous only in his own place. But a learned man, a pure devotee, is famous all over the world. Someone may be a rich man in India, but if he goes to America, he is nobody. A rich man from America wouldn't be a complete nobody in India because the beggar would see that he is a foreigner and this would give him importance. But a rich man is really known and served and worshipped only in his own place, whereas a learned man is known and served and worshipped throughout the world, just like Srila Prabhupada. Wherever he went, he was loved and served and worshipped. So Madhavendra Puri was a great devotee. When the deity stole condensed milk for him in Ramana, he thought people would come and honor him. So to avoid them, he went to Jagannath Puri. But when he arrived in Puri, people knew that the great devotee Madhavendra Puri had come. So they came to honor him. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami stated that being afraid of his reputation, Madhavendra Puri fled from Ramana, but the reputation brought by love of Godhead is so sublime that it goes along with the devotee as if following him. Almost all the conditioned souls within the material world are envious. Jealous people generally turn against one who automatically attains some reputation. Consequently, when a devotee is fit to receive worldly reputation, he is envied by many people. This is quite natural. When a person out of humility does not desire fame, people generally think him quite humble and consequently give him all kind of fame. Actually, a Vaishnava does not hanker after fame or a great reputation. Madhavendra Puri, the king of Vaishnavas, bore his reputation, but he wanted to keep himself outside the vision of the general populace. He wanted to cover his real identity as a great devotee of the Lord. But when people saw him overwhelmed in ecstasy in love of Godhead, they naturally give credit to him. Actually, a first-class reputation is that Madhavendra Puri, because he was a most confidential devotee of the Lord. Sometimes a Sahaja presents himself as being void of desire for reputation in order to become famous as a humble man. Such people cannot actually attain the platform of celebrated Vaishnavas. So once, when Srila Prabhupada was in Los Angeles, Giriraj Maharaj's parents came to visit, and Maharaj was also there, and so many people, old and young, male and female, were also there with Srila Prabhupada on his morning walk in a park. And he was dealing with each and every person in such a way that everyone was pleased, even though they were so different. For example, Maharaj says that my mother was 55 or so years of age, but Srila Prabhupada told her, Mrs. Staten, you look so young. And she was very pleased. Everyone was pleased. At the end of the walk, we came to where the car were parked. Perhaps Karandhar Prabhu had arranged a Rolls Royce for Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada knew the heart of everyone. And even otherwise, he might have seen Maharaj's father glancing at the car. I'm referring to the principle of enviousness. Not that my father was envious. So he and my father and some devotees were standing around the Rolls Royce. And Srila Prabhupada said to Maharaj's father that you should come and ride with me. And Maharaj's father said, no, 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 I cannot. No, no, you should come and ride with me, Prabhupada insisted. And then very humbly, in a very shy way, Srila Prabhupada said, actually my disciple got this for me. Maharaj's father immediately said, no, no, you deserved it. So if by chance there was any envy, Srila Prabhupada acted quickly and expertly to dispel it. Afterwards, Srila Prabhupada's servant Harisuri Prabhu commented to him, Srila Prabhupada, everyone likes you so much. And Srila Prabhupada replied, yes, because I like everyone. Text 148. Yadyapi udvage haila palaite mana Thakurera chandana sadhana haila bandhana. Madhavendra Puri wanted to leave Jagannath Puri because the people were honoring him as a great devotee. However, these threatened to hinder his collecting sandalwood for the Gopal deity. So Madhavendra Puri came to Jagannath Puri for service. But when he got there, he found fame, which he did not like. So he wanted to run away from Puri to escape the reputation there. But if he had run away, he would not have been able to do his service to the deity of Gopal. So he gave more importance to Gopal's service than to his own likes or dislikes. This is the quality of a pure devotee. The pure devotee does whatever is favorable for the service of the master, even if it is not favorable for his own personal happiness. And of course, in serving the master and giving happiness to the master, he enjoys the greatest happiness. Text 149 to 151. Sri Madhavendra Puri told all the servants of the Lord Jagannath and all the great devotees there the story of the appearance of Sri Gopal. And when all the devotees at the Jagannath Puri heard that the Gopal deity wanted sandalwood, in great pleasure, they all endeavored to collect it. Those who were acquainted with government officers met with them and begged for camphor and sandalwood, which they collected. So it appeared that Malayaja, Chandan, sandalwood and camphor were used for the Jagannath deity. The camphor was used in his artik and the sandalwood was used to smear his body. Both these items were under government control, and therefore the devotees has to meet with the government official, informing them of all the details. And they obtain permission to take the sandalwood and camphor outside Jagannath Puri. Text 152. Eka Vipra Eka Sevaka Chandana Vahite Puri Goshanira Sangha Dila Sambala Sahite. One Brahmana and one servant were given to Madhavendra Puri just to carry the sandalwood. He was also given the necessarily traveling expense. Madhavendra Puri had no material assets. He would not even ask for food. He would just chant the holy name, and whatever food Krishna sent, he would accept. He himself has nothing. But when the people of Puri saw his exalted devotional position, they automatically offered to collect chandan and camphor, get permission from the government, and even give him money for the expense on the way. Text 153 to 157. To get past the toll collectors along the way, Madhavendra Puri was supplied with the necessary release paper from the government officers. The papers were placed in his hand. In this way, Madhavendra Puri started for Vrindavan with the burden of sandalwood, and after some days he again reached the village of Ramana and the Gopinath temple there. Beautiful, colorful painting on the gates and the temple. It's so elaborately, all different colors. When Madhavendra Puri reached the temple of Gopinath, he offered his respectful obeisances many times at the lotus feet of the Lord. In the ecstasy of love, he began to dance and sing without cessation. When the priest of Gopinath saw Madhavendra Puri again, he offered all respect to him and giving him the sweet rice prasadam, made him eat. Madhavendra Puri took rest that night in the temple, but toward the end of the night, he had another dream. That's 158. Gopala Asiya kahe, Sunna he Madhava, Karpura Chandana Ami, Pailama Sabha. Madhavendra Puri dreamed that Gopal came before him and said, "O Madhavendra Puri, I have already received all the sandalwood and camphor." Text 159. Karpura Sahita Gasi, Ei Sabha Chandan, Gopinathera Ange, Nitya Karaha Lepan. Now just grind all the sandalwood together with the camphor and then smear the pulp on the body of Gopinath deity until it is finished. Haribol. Gopinath Amara se ekai angahaya in hake chandana dile habe mora tapkshaya. There is no difference between my body and Gopinath's body. They are one and the same. Therefore, if you smear the sandalwood pulp on the body of the Gopinath, you will naturally also smear it on my body. Thus, the temperature of my body will be reduced. Purport. Gopal was situated in Vrindavan, which was far from Ramana. In those days, one had to pass through provinces governed by the Mohammedans, who sometimes hindered travelers. Considering the trouble of his devotees, Lord Gopal, the greatest well-wisher of his devotees, ordered Madhavendra Puri to smear the sandalwood pulp on the body of the Gopinath, which was non-different from the body of Gopal. In this way, the Lord relieved Madhavendra Puri from trouble and inconvenience. Lord is so kind to his devotees. The devotee always wants to serve the Lord without any personal consideration. But the Lord also reciprocates and wants to help the devotee. Madhavendra Puri was ready to carry the sandalwood and camphor all the way from Jagannath Puri to Vrindavan on foot in the heat of summer to please Gopal. And Gopal was pleased by Madhavendra Puri's pure devotional service attitude and felt compassion for him. He didn't want him to take the trouble to carry the sandalwood all the way from Jagannath Puri to Vrindavan by foot in heat summer. So he appeared to Madhavendra Puri in a dream and told him, to smear the sandalwood pulp mixed with camphor on the deity of Gopinath. And because the deity of Gopinath and I are the same, I will feel relieved. Text 161, 168. Dvida na bhaviha na kariha kichu mane Vishwas kari chandana deha amara vachane. You should not hesitate to act according to my order. Believing in me, just do what is needed. So after giving this instruction, Gopal disappeared and Madhavendra Puri awoke. He immediately called for all the servants of the Gopinath and they came before him. Madhavendra Puri said, smear the body of Gopinath with this camphor and sandalwood I have brought for Gopal in Vrindavan. Do this regularly every single day until it finished. That was the instructions. If the sandalwood pulp is smeared over the body of Gopinath, then Gopal will be cooled. After all, the Supreme Personality Godhead is completely independent. His order is all powerful. So the servant of the Gopinath became very pleased to hear that in the summer, all the sandalwood pulp will be used to anoint the body of Gopinath. So Madhavendra Puri says, these two assistants will regularly grind the sandalwood, and you should also get two other people to help. I shall pay their salary. So in this way, Gopinathji was supplied ground sandalwood pulp daily. The servants of Gopinath were very pleased with this. In this way, the sandalwood pulp was smeared over the body of Gopinath until the whole stock was finished. Madhavendra Puri stayed there until that time just to make sure. Grishma kala ante punah nilachale gela nilachale chaturmasya anande rahila. At the end of summer, Madhavendra Puri returned to Jagannath Puri, where he remained with great pleasure during the whole period of Chaturmas. The Chaturmas period began in the month of Ashad, June and July, from the day of Ekadasi called Sayana Ekadasi, in the fortnight of the waxing moon. In Maharashtra, many people go to Pandharpur to celebrate Asadhi Ekadasi, and they do kirtan on the way, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, or Jaya Jaya Ramakrishna Hare with great jubilation. They walk in dindi parties until they reach Pandharpur. Then they do parikrama, take darshan of Vittala, and hear the ISKCON devotees chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And if they are lucky enough, they will purchase some of Srila Prabhupada's books and take some prasad. So the purport, the Chaturmas begin in the month of Asad, June, July, from the day of Ekadasi called Sayana Ekadasi, in the fortnight of the waxing moon. The period ends in the month of Kartik, October, November, on the Ekadasi day known as Utthana Ekadasi, in the fortnight of the waxing moon. This 4 months period is known as Chaturmasya. Some Vaishnavas also observe it from the full moon day of Ashad until the full moon day of Kartik. That is also a period of 4 months. This period calculated by the lunar months is called Chaturmasya. But others also observe Chaturmasya according to the solar month. from the Shravan to Kartik. The whole period, either lunar or solar, take place during the rainy season. Chaturmas should be observed by all sections of the population. It does not matter whether one is a grahastha or a sannyasi. The observance is obligatory for all ashrams. The real purpose behind the vow taken during these 4 months is to maximize the devotional practice and minimize the quantity of sense gratification. And this is not very difficult. In the month of Shravan, one should not eat spinach. In the month of Bhadra, one should not eat yogurt. And in the month of Ashwin, one should not drink milk. One should not eat fish or other rich in protein is considered non-vegetarian. On the whole, during the 4-month period of Chaturmasya, one should practice giving up all food intended for sense enjoyment. The story we just read was spoken by Lord Chaitanya when he visited Ramuna on the way from Bengal to Jagannath Puri in Orissa. And he told the story of Madhavendra Puri to all the devotees with him, including Nityanand Prabhu. So now we will read a short summary of the glories of Madhavendra Puri and pray for his mercy to bless us with the tiniest fractions of his devotions to Krishna. Text 170. Shri Mukhe Madhava Purira Amrita Charita Bhakta Gane Sunana Prabhu Kare Aswadita. Thus Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally praised the nectarian characteristics of the Madhavendra Puri. And while he related all this to the devotees, he also personally relished it. Who doesn't relish the glorification of his own Guru, right? Haribol. Devotees take pleasure in speaking and hearing the glories of other devotees. And Lord Chaitanya set that example. He personally relished remembering and discussing the glories of Madhavendra Puri. Text 171. Prabhu kahe Nityananda Karah vichar, Purishama Bhagyavana, Jagate Nahiyar. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Nityanand Prabhu to judge whether there was anyone within the world as fortunate as Madhavendra Puri. Haribol. Text 172. Dugda tana chale, Krishna yandre dekha dila, Tina bare swapne ashri. Yandre Ajna Kaila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Madhavendra Puri was so fortunate that Krishna personally appeared before him on the plea of delivering the milk in Vrindavan. Remember these wonderful pastimes. Near the Brahman Kund, I think. 3 times the Lord gave orders to Madhavendra Puri in dreams. What were the 3 orders the Lord gave Madhavendra Puri? First, at Govardhan, Gopal appeared in Madhavendra Puri dream and told him, I am hidden in the bushes. Please take me out and install me on the top of the Govardhan hill, which is very wonderfully still the temple you can see at near the Jatipur town. The second time was also at the Govardhan. The deity appeared Madhavendra Puri and told him, I'm feeling very hot. Please bring Sandalwood pearl to cool me down. And the third time was at Ramuna, where Gopal appeared to Madhavendra Puri and told him, the deity of Gopinath and I are the same. So you can smear the sandalwood on the body of the Gopinath and I will feel relieved. Text 173. Yandra preme vashahana prakata haila seva angi karakari jagata tarila. Being obliged because of the loving affairs of Madhavendra Puri, Lord Krishna himself appeared as the Gopal deity and accepting his service, he liberated the whole world. In other words, the deity of Gopal was so obliged by Madhavendra Puri's service that he appeared to Madhavendra Puri just to accept it. And thus the deity of Gopal delivered the whole world. Even now, an expansion of the Gopal deity is here in this temple and he is delivering the whole world. Text 174. Yandra lagi Gopinatha kshira kaila churi at eva nama haila shira chor kare. On account of Madhavendra Puri, Lord Gopinath stole the pot of sweet rice. Thus he became famous as Shir Chor, the thief who stole the sweet rice. So generally stealing is considered bad. And definitely stealing is bad. But here we see the deity stole. Is the deity at fault? No. God is absolute. Krishna is absolute. So whatever he does is always good. God is always good. So whatever Krishna does is all good absolutely. Even in Vrindavan, Krishna used to steal butter and yogurt. Of course, the residents of Vrindavan did not think Krishna as the Lord. They thought of him as the son of Yashoda and Nanda. The elderly gopi complained to Mother Yashoda, your son comes to our houses and does mischief. Sometimes he steals butter and yogurt and he feeds them to his friends and to monkeys. Sometimes he pinches the babies and makes them cry. Sometimes he passes urine on the floor. What kind of a boy is this? And what kind of a mother are you? You are not controlling him. He is becoming a nuisance and he will be spoiled. You should control him. Keep him with you and don't let him go into other people's house and make trouble. So Mother Yashoda also did not think that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She thought that he is my son and I am his mother. And if I don't take care, he will be spoiled. So she took it very seriously and kept Krishna at home. But after some time, the elderly gopis came and complained. Krishna is not coming to our house anymore. He is not coming to tease our children or steal our butter. And we are so unhappy. This is the absolute nature of Krishna. Whatever he does is all pleasing to everyone. Even his stealing gives pleasure. If someone in our ashram steals something, we won't feel pleasure. In fact, we will want to beat him with a stick and chase him out of the door. Our stealing doesn't give pleasure because we are conditioned soul in the duality of this material nature. So we should not steal. Even Rupa Goswami has advised devotee to be straightforward in ordinary dealings and to act in the mode of goodness. In the way of Brahmanas, whose first quality is Satyam, truthfulness. But Krishna is on the absolute platform. When he steals, people take pleasure and glorify him as Makhan Chor or Kir Chor. because his stealing and our stealing are not on the same level. We should not imitate. People may think Krishna stole, I will also steal. Whatever Krishna does is all good, absolutely. But we are in the material world who are trying to become devotees. And even those who actually are devotees act according to the religious principle. And according to the religious principle, one should not steal, one should not lie, and so on. So we should follow. This is our duty, and Krishna's duty is to give pleasure to his devotee by any means. And sometimes to give pleasure to his devotees, he steals. But there is another lesson for us. We should not stock or hoard things. When Srila Prabhupada first had the devotee print BTG in large quantity in America, he said, don't keep the magazines stocked, distribute them. Otherwise, if you keep them stocked, Krishna may come and steal them. Just like the gopis used to keep butter and yogurt, and Krishna used to come and steal. So if you keep the transcendental literature stock, Krishna may come and steal it. Krishna's pastimes can be understood on many levels and in many ways, and we should be sure to understand them properly from Srila Prabhupada. Now Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained the reciprocation between Madhavendra Puri and the deity of Gopal. Text 176. Mlecha deshe karpura, chanda anite jangal, puri dukkha pabe, iha janiya Gopal. In the province of India governed by the Mohammedans, were much inconvenience in traveling with the sandalwood and camphor. And because of this only, Madhavendra Puri might have gotten into trouble. And this become known to the Gopal deities. Text 177. Mahadaya Maya Prabhu Bhakta Vatsala Chandan Pari Bhakta Shrama Karile Sapala. The Lord is very merciful and attached to his devotees. So when Gopinath was covered with sandalwood pulp, Madhavendra Puri's labor becomes successful. Text 178. Purira prema parakasta karaha vichar aulokika prema chitte lage chamatkar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu placed the standard of Madhavendra Puri's intense love before Nityanand Prabhu for judgment. All his loving activities are uncommon, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Indeed, one is struck with wonder to hear of his activities. In the purport, when the living entity feels spiritual separation from Krishna, Krishna Vira, he has achieved the prime success of life. Haribol. So here Srila Prabhupada is deeply analyzing what is the actual wonder of Sri Madhavendra Puri devotional ecstasy. So when one becomes disinterested in material thing, he is simply experiencing the other side of the attractions for material things. Haribol. So the comment is attachment and aversion. In material life, we feel attracted to material things. We want to possess them and enjoy them. And when we try to possess and enjoy them, we suffer. On a morning walk in Juhu, Srila Prabhupada spoke about money. And he said that getting money is a problem. Keeping the money is a problem. And when you lose the money, that is also a problem. At every stage, there is simply a trouble. So when someone has experienced all the troubles of material life, he may think, why shall I bother for all these things? Let me renounce, let me live. But that is not bhakti. That is just the other side of the attachment. First, I wanted to get it. Now I wanted to live it. I wanted to get it to become happy. But when I actually got it, I didn't become happy. I had more trouble. So let me live it. But the basic principle is one personal happiness. The karmist's idea is to enjoy, but instead of enjoying, he suffers. And the idea of the jnani, impersonalist, is that by trying to enjoy, he suffers. So now he won't try to enjoy anymore. So he won't have to suffer anymore. Then zero. When he was a karmi, he wanted plus enjoyment. But instead of plus, he got minus, suffering. Now he thinks, I don't want minus. Though I wanted plus, I got minus instead. So now I want zero, because at least zero is better than minus. So both the karmis and the jnanis are selfish. And bhukti, mukti, siddhi, kami, shakali asant, Krishna bhakta niskama, tatra eva santa. Very famous verse. Very wonderful. Fruitive workers desire material enjoyment, jnanis desire liberation, and the yogis desire material opulence. Therefore, they are always lusty and cannot be peaceful. But because a devotee of Lord Krishna is desireless in the terms of material desire, not spiritual, we should always have some spiritual desire. He is the only one can remain peaceful. Madhya Lila 19:149 confirm this. Thus, the real glory of Madhavendra Puri as described by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here is not his renunciation, but rather his intense love for Krishna in the mood of separation. So when one becomes disinterested in material things, he is simply experiencing the other side of attractions for material things. However, feeling separation from Krishna and engaging in the service of the Lord to fulfill his mission constitute the best example of love of Krishna. So someone might say that the devotee is crying in separation. The devotee is suffering, but actually he is not suffering. He is enjoying transcendental ecstasy on the spiritual platform. Someone may see that the devotee is laboring, going to Jagannath Puri, meeting the government officers, getting permits, getting the sandalwood and camphor, carrying everything with him by foot and think, oh, he is laboring, he is suffering. But he is not suffering. He is enjoying transcendental ecstasy on the spiritual platform because the central point is Krishna. So the purport concluded as follows. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to point out this intense love of Krishna exhibited by Madhavendra Puri. All Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees later followed in the footsteps of Madhavendra Puri, serving the Lord without personal considerations. Haribol. That is the standard of follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who follows Sri Madhavendra Puri, they show the Lord without any personal considerations. Haribol. Text 186. Pragadha Premira E Swabhav Achar Nij Dukha Vigna Dira Na Kare Vichar. This is the natural result of intense love of Godhead. The devotee does not consider personal inconvenience or impediments. In all circumstances, he wants to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. It is natural for those who have developed intense love for Krishna not to care for personal inconvenience and impediments. Such devotees are simply determined to execute the order of the Supreme Personality Godhead or his representatives, the spiritual master. In all circumstances, even amidst the greatest dangers, they undeviatingly carry on with the greatest determination. This definitely proves the intense love of the servitor. Haribol comment. Their love is shown by their being undeviating and unfaltering in serving the order of the spiritual master in the face of all difficulties, not by a show of tears. Haribol. So in the purport it continued, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Tat tenu kampam shushamsik samanaha. Those who seriously desire to get free from the clutches of material existence, please listen carefully, who have developed intense love for Krishna, are worthy candidate for going back home, back to Godhead. An intense lover of Krishna does not care for any number of material discomfort, scarcity, impediments, or unhappiness. It is said that when one sees apparent unhappiness or distress in a perfect Vaishnava, it is not at all unhappiness for him, rather it is transcendental bliss. So the comment is, Prabhupada's disciple, Mother Jadurani, was perhaps the first artist in ISKCON, and Srila Prabhupada used to give her photos as subjects to paint. Once she looked at one and commented, "Oh Srila Prabhupada, you look so sad in this picture." And Srila Prabhupada replied, "That was a moment of ecstasy." This it is said that when one sees apparent unhappiness or distress in a perfect Vaishnava, it is not at all unhappiness for him, rather it is transcendental bliss. Once in the New York also, the devotees arranged a big program for Srila Prabhupada. And although they had very little money, they rented an expensive hall. But in the end, hardly 2 or 3 people came, and the devotees might have felt discouraged. But Srila Prabhupada said, "Don't be discouraged. We have prepared a big feast to distribute to the guests. And if guests come, we will distribute the prasad and be happy. And if they don't come, we will eat the prasad and be happy." So in every case, we are happy. I still remember also when I read the same, I think Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj in, I think, LA. At one time, they approached the other church and they said, Srila Prabhupada give a class, and I think the church assured that there will be many members will attend. And it happened that after putting so much effort for advertising that event and everything, very, very countable people came. And they were feeling so bad because they were giving the notion to Prabhupada that there will be a good amount of people will be there for your class. And when they saw, they really become depressed like that. Hey, what happened? And Prabhupada said at that time, differently little, "Don't worry. All these demigods, liberated person are sitting and listening. Don't think only 2, 3 people are listening my class." Very good. So in Sistastika, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also instructed Asilisyava Padaratam. The intense lover of Krishna is never deviated from his service. Haribo, never use this word. When we will reach the stage, I think we should dwell on it. Never. Despite all difficulties and impediment brought before him. Haribo. So Madhavendra Puri ki jai. Shri Gopal, Shri Gopinath ki jai. Chandan Yatra ki jai. And also so many other Srinivas, Acharya Prabhu's also appearance day. And the Radha Raman deity appeared, Radha Damodar deity appeared today. So it's the most auspicious day. I have committed one phone call at 7:45 because they have something else to do. So I committed so we can chant until 7:45. But then I will have to leave. But thank you very much for remaining steadfast, whatever we can, in our conditioned state of life. If we remain sincere, Krishna will give us all these abilities. It's not that by our determination we will be able to do determined work. Only if we get the mercy of those person who has the determination, then we can get those kind of things. And we see that we struggle, right, to maintain our determination. But this is where I always tell the devotees that it's not